Ladies and gentlemen, there's no better way to get up than to get up with Garret. Garret is a third-generation success-credentialed real estate entrepreneur who's here to give you tips, tricks, and share stories of success. Ladies and gentlemen, your host, Garret.
My man. What's up, Dougie?
How are you?
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you okay. Can you hear the music okay, your entrance music?
Oh, I love my entrance music. When I hear that, I feel like I'm the Undertaker getting ready for WrestleMania. Got to defend that record. Yeah, coming to you live today. Was it Thursday, December 7th, 8th, something like that, 9th maybe? Somewhere in there, that first week. And I'm at the Glen Rock, New Jersey offices here of the Bedroom Organization. And, been dealing with a little bit of chest congestion, a little cough for the past week and a half. Went to the doctor last week. Oh, it's viral. You're fine. Just rest, take some Mucinex, hydrate. And I feel like if it doesn't clear up in a day or two, I got to go back and maybe ask for that Z-Pack or something. I hate taking that stuff if you don't have to. It kind of kills everything in your system.
Did you try the Mucinex stuff first?
Yeah, I've been taking the Mucinex that helps you kind of get the cough out and the phlegm out. But it's like every morning when I wake up, I just have to like really clear out my chest. A lot of like the phlegm. But during the day, I feel pretty good. I feel fine. Like I'm not fatigued, good energy. But I ended up not going to the city for a conference. I just felt like, running around with thousands of people in the cold outside from different cocktail parties. I just didn't feel like up for that. So hopefully we'll feel better. But I appreciate everybody spending some time with us, getting some updates. Hopefully everyone had a good Thanksgiving and get ready for the end of the year. The holiday season is obviously big in the retail industry. We're listening and kind of hearing about our consumers still spending money. My gut feeling says that people still are spending money. They may be shifting it a little bit more from their savings accounts to the credit cards, right? Obviously during COVID, people built up a lot of savings, whether it was government stimulus or just working from home and didn't have to spend money on commuting or expensive lunches or their wardrobe. So we saw that people had more pent up money to spend on retail, on trips, on services, experiences. Now we're hearing that some of that money is being shifted to credit cards. Typically, the country has kind of a big credit card balance for the average person. So we're still, when we talk to our tenants, we still are hearing that people are out. Some of our service tenants are telling us that inflation is creeping up a little bit on their customers, and maybe instead of getting their hair done every 4 weeks, maybe they're stretching it to every 6 weeks to help save a little bit. But I was out shopping after Thanksgiving. I know you're always talking about sneakers, Dougie, and we have a lot of sneakerheads that follow the show. And I actually tried on a pretty cool pair of Jordans. They were like this midnight blue Jordan 11s. They had like a blue velvet instead of the there you go. Yeah, instead of the patent leather, it was like a blue velvet. Let me ask you, what did you think of those? Did you like them? Should I bought them? Pass?
I like them. The only thing I would change is the velvet piece. It doesn't have to be the patent shiny stuff. I just feel like the velvet, I don't know, it's too much for me.
Yeah, I passed on these because my wife didn't love them. And then I actually found out that's the woman's shoe. And I'm very comfortable in who I am, and I have no issue that it was a woman's size. I mean, to me, it looks the exact same as the Jordan 11. If you like this, if you like the sneaker, like it.
Yeah, they just come up with like different color schemes, but like the sizing still like the same. Like, a woman's whatever 13 is a guy's 10.5.
Right. And I've always heard my wife be like, "Oh, I need to buy this. It's a men's this or whatever." Like, whatever. If you like it, you like it. Yeah. You should feel comfortable in your own skin and who you are, and you shouldn't let taglines define you. But when your wife tells you she doesn't like the sneaker, then you don't buy it. Then you for sure don't buy it. So I ended up going with the Air Max, the classic black Air Max. I don't know if you have those, Dougie. And I was happy to get like a pretty good deal. They were I think they were $130, but they were on sale for $90. So I thought that was, $100. Like when I was growing up, when you were growing up, that was like $1 million for a pair of sneakers. But now, there you go. Nice,
Same
nice,
one.
nice.
These are my everyday sneaker.
There you go. So I thought these were good for the winter. Nice, kind of, you can wear them even nice kind of fun daytime. If you have daytime plans, definitely definitely good to wear these. So I'm loving those. Did you
Yeah.
pick up anything? Any sneakers recently? Black Friday special, 30 off, anything?
No, but these are the ones you just got in black are my everyday sneaker. You'll be happy with those.
Perfect, perfect. So wanted to talk about that, and then wanted to update everybody on our big mixed use project called Hedges at Hawthorne. We actually have made some great great stage improvements recently. We were able to get permanent power in the retail building. So we actually have three buildings. One is the retail, which is anchored by Planet Fitness, and they expect to be opening December 17th. They actually put it up on Google, which I thought was pretty neat when they're going to be opening. So if you live in Hawthorne, Fairlawn, Paramus, Ridgewood, Patterson, Elmwood Park, Wyckoff, any of these little towns all in northern New Jersey, $10 a month. I don't know how you beat that, Dougie. You can go once a month and still feel like you got a good value, right?
Yeah.
There's the Planet Fitness right on Wagger Road. They've got great promotions. I think it's like 25 cents to join and then $10 a month, something ridiculous like that. So that was great. And then we have some photos from some of the amenity areas. One of the nice things that we're doing with the Hedges project, again, if you don't know, if this is your first time watching the show, Hedges is 118 luxury apartments with condo qualities, walking distance to the New Jersey Transit train that goes to New York City. So you can save a lot of money not living in New York and taking the train. And it's a mix of uses. So we have the retail, which is the Planet Fitness, and hopefully some other great healthy alternatives for food, and then the self-storage building. So in the apartment building, Hedges, there's a big common area where it's kind of like a living room. There's some work from home spaces. Can you show some of the sheetrock pictures I sent you, Dougie? Do you have those?
Yeah, I got them. This one.
Yes, go for it. Okay, perfect. That's the wine tasting room. So
Ooh.
that's a pretty cool spot, right? You like a little vino, little
Mhm.
wine. That could also be used as like a business meeting. So we're going to have really cool events in there for eating, for business. There'll be big TV, special wine areas, wine refrigerators. It'll be pretty cool. What else you got?
We got lots of stuff. We got lots of stuff.
Anything else that looks like sheetrock? There you go. So those are our work from home rooms, right? So if you want to rent an apartment and not have to pay for an office, you can come downstairs, pop in one of these little mini offices. There's going to be beautiful glass doors on them and some sound attenuation as well. And you can, take your laptop and do some coding, do some design work, or just take a private phone call, I guess, or read a book or something if you want some privacy. So there's four of those.
Nice.
So that was big to get past that stage because everything in the wall is inspected. Like you have insulation, you have your rough plumbing, your rough electric, your fire sprinkler, your air conditioning ducts, all that
Mm-hmm.
is very tedious. And it kind of follows like you got to do, a path, right? You can't do this one till you get that inspected till you go to the next one. When you close up the wall and you sheetrock it, and then you put the tape which covers the seams, right? You also do the little spackle to cover the screw holes and you sand it down and then you paint that whole area. Once you do that, you're in more of a what you would call the finish stage of construction. So what do I mean by that? Wallpaper, tile, paint, crown molding, maybe a brick, like a brick face, a stone. All those things, they're not really inspected. They're more like a finish. And you can kind of have multiple people working at the same time. Uh, it's much harder when the wall is still open because you have inspections that are holding you up. So that was great to pass that stage.
Nice.
So I'm excited about the amenities, right? For there, that's kind of the entrance, and you walk in. Yep. So that I think that's all been painted now, actually, since I took this picture last week. So they're moving and shaking, which is excellent news. Excuse me. There you go. Um, so one of the other things I wanted to talk about, kind of quickly, was we are working on two other storage deals. I can't really reveal where they are right now, but we're in negotiations on two deals in northern New Jersey you're familiar with the storage building that we built in Hawthorne,
Mhm.
which is managed by CubeSmart. And if you're not familiar with how that works, very similar to a hotel. So like Doug, you've gone to a Marriott Courtyard or Hilton Garden Inn when you're traveling, whatever. Those are typically owned by an investor or a family or a big company, private equity. They're not usually owned by Marriott or Hilton. I don't know if you knew that.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, so they use their name like their franchise, right? Like McDonald's or Salons by
Mhm.
JC. So they basically license the name,
Mhm.
and then often they'll like license the reservation system, the point system, the 1-800 number, the website. Sometimes they even have a manager from the company.
Mhm.
That's called like third party management. So it's similar here. We own the CubeSmart, but we hire them to manage it. So when you're looking for a storage unit, Doug, you don't call Bedron. You don't know anything about Bedron. You call CubeSmart, you go on their website, you walk in, you deal with their employee. They handle everything. And then every month they'll send us reports, talk about the P&L.
Mhm.
Um, and so they get a fee. They get paid a fee for that.
Interesting.
Um, so we're looking to do more business with them where we can own the building and then hire them because they're experts, right? They have 50 years more experience than we do. So why would I think I can do it better than them? For a small fee, it's worth bringing them in as a management partner. But yet we're still the owner. So we have found two other sites that we want to try to move forward on that we're negotiating the contracts.
Mhm.
You never know what happens. Obviously, with contracts, lots of different legal issues, site issues, um, and I can't get into specific deal offerings in this type of environment. But again, if you've heard about real estate investing and you want to have a phone call or an email and you want to chat a little bit, send me an email to the show. It's getupwithgarret@gmail.com. It's down below. Very good, and be happy to set up a consultation and figure out, are you what's called an accredited investor? Is this the right type of project for you to invest in? And just kind of listen to your investing goals and understand your kind of your needs and desires. So we can't talk about specific offerings here in the show, but I'm allowed to mention that we can set up appointments to get to know each other and talk about your overall real estate needs. So I'm busy with that. We're going to go look at some stuff tomorrow. Yeah, there's the Instagram. You can follow us. We do great content, great reels. We're always sharing updates to projects that we're working on. So we appreciate you giving us a follow and comment. Anytime you comment, we'll try to get back to you. Even if you comment live, we'll try to get back to you as well. Um, I had an interesting conversation. I was in an Uber because my car's been in the shop. That's another story. Car broke down. I've been Ubering a lot, and I really enjoy Uber, and I love chatting and engaging with the driver. So I'm always really curious. Like I'll say, "Do you drive full time? What else do you do? Tell me about your career. How'd you end up? Why do you Uber? Do you love it? Tell me about it." And most people are very positive, by the way, Doug. I don't know if you've had any experiences with Ubers.
Absolutely. Yeah. Everyone. I haven't had an issue yet. Knock on wood.
Yeah, but I mean, like most people don't complain. They're thankful that they have the ability to kind of have some extra, side hustle, extra hours. So I was talking to this one guy.
They could turn it off and on whenever they want too. It's like
Well, so you know what? Let me give the audience a quick education. If you're not familiar with how it works, so I'm assuming everyone knows what Uber is if they're watching this show and listening to our channel, but it's basically up to the driver when they want to work. So not everybody knows that. On their app, they can kind of turn it on and say, "Hey, I'm available. Call me. I'll come get you." Whatever. How do you? I always say a joke like, "How do you get an Uber? Do you call an Uber? Do you text an Uber? Do you hail an Uber? What do? You tweet an Uber? I don't know." So you turn on the Uber, I guess. So or you can turn off and say, "You know what? I'm done. I'm going home, taking a nap. I'm going shopping. I'm with my family. I have another job," and you turn that thing off. Like you don't get in trouble. Like it's not like your boss wants you there from 9 to 5, and you say, "You know what? I don't want to work from 9 to 1." Uber is okay with that, which I think is really cool. So it's totally kind of democratized. It's in your hands, right? You have the ability to decide when you want to work. So a lot of people will do it on the weekends or after hours, right? So I said to this driver whose name was Simba, which to me, I mean, I love The Lion King. I love everything Disney. So I felt already a bond to Simba. And I almost asked him, were you born in 1992? I guess your parents were big Disney fans. I didn't have the heart to ask him, but he told me that he's a driver for Target, that he drives a big truck, a big rig, as they call it, right? Which is probably a lot harder than most people think.
Yeah.
Right. He tells me he gets up at 2 a.m. and he leaves his house and he goes to Hackensack, New Jersey. I guess he gets the rig there. And he drives from Hackensack to Maryland, goes to the distribution center. There's a loading, unloading process. He gets a half-hour break, and then he drives back.
And that's about 4 or 5 hour drive to Maryland, 4 or 5 hour drive back.
Right, 4.5, he said, each way, with no, because the timing is great with the traffic.
Wow.
That's his day. He's done at 12.
That's crazy.
So he says, I go home, I take a nap for like a couple hours, and then if I want to make some extra money holiday times, I turn on Uber, or or on the weekends, or if I have a day off, sometimes they make him take a certain amount of days off. And he said to me he was saving up money to buy his own truck, right? And I asked him, I said, when you have your own rig, will you be able to rent it out? Like, or will it just be you driving it? Or because he was telling me he only makes $500 a week. But yet the company makes $6,000 a week. He was trying to explain to me and what it costs for the, I don't know if he works for Target directly. He may work for another company that drives for Target, right? So he was explaining to me there's a big delta between the 6,000 and the 500, right?
Yeah.
And he wants to try to get a bigger piece of that, which, I love the entrepreneurial spirit, right?
Yeah.
So I asked him if he could rent out the truck when he wasn't driving, and he said yes, he could. And it reminded me of something interesting because, and I don't know if I think I sent you a picture of the ear piercing picture. Do you have that?
Oh, yes. I thought it looked like someone was getting like a flu shot. Is this what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that may not resonate as well as I thought on the podcast, but somebody actually came to my house last week, and my kids and some friends got their ears pierced in the house, right?
Yeah.
So there's a business for everybody. There's an entrepreneurial spirit for everybody. There's a side hustle for everybody, right? And so I encourage people to, go for it, right? Maybe it's you're a nurse and on the side you want to become the expert ear piercer that comes to your house and gets it done because, moms feel more comfortable that a nurse is piercing their kid's ear than a high school or college kid from Claire's or whatever at the mall. Not trying to throw any shade, just saying like, maybe a nurse should be cleaning up and doing that. So there's an opportunity for everyone to get out there and try to find your side hustle. But I want to be very clear. If your business doesn't make money while you're sleeping, it's not a business. It's just a side hustle or a hobby. Okay, so don't leave your bread and butter. Don't leave your main job if the thing that you're getting into doesn't make you money if you're sleeping. Okay, that's a real definition. And there's nothing wrong with having a side hustle that makes money when, only when you're working, right? So maybe you're driving the Uber or you're piercing ears at people's house. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that as your side hustle. But I think a lot of people get confused and they see it as this new business they launched that they can walk away from and go on vacation, have downtime. Well, that's not accurate. That's why we love passive income. We love real estate investing, the hair salons. If I'm sleeping, the hair salons are.
Oh, we lost Garrett. Come on back, Garrett. It was getting good too. It was a good thing you ended the quote. There you are.
Okay, sorry. We have this new Microsoft Teams thing, and I guess it was ringing, but I put myself on Do Not Disturb, so I don't know why it rung.
Well, you just finished the quote right before that. But let me
jump in there.
Let me jump in. So like answer. So like some people might. I don't want to say get offended, but you might have someone. I'm working construction, breaking my back all day. What do you mean? And I get what you're saying because you're breaking that cycle that work equals income. And that's like that's the next level you want to get at, is where you're making money when you're sleeping. Like passive income is the next stage, is the next level up, right? So like whether you're slaving away, cutting hair, or breaking your back, doing construction or landscaping, basically what you're saying is those are kind of side hustles until you've gotten to the next level where you're making money when you sleep, right?
Yeah, I mean, like if you are a landscaper or you're a painter, and now you can hire someone to do it while you're sleeping, right? That's a business. That's very respectable, right? But you shouldn't, like, if you want to have passive income and if you want to work smarter, then you shouldn't work for money. Money should work for you, right? You should, like, time is what's most important. So there's nothing wrong with having having a 9 to 5 where you're a painter, and you get paid a wage to paint, and then you go out on your own and you paint houses yourself, right? But it's not a business until you can really walk away and it make money while you're not there. Because if you're just getting paid while you're there, you're basically still a slave to your business, right? Like if you're not there, like even, and people used to think doctors, like, oh my God, doctors make this, they're so rich, they make all this money. And it's like, yeah, but I bet you would talk to a lot of doctors and they would say, yeah, but if I don't work, I don't make any money.
Yeah.
Right. So I just want people to understand that, like, as you're trying out the side hustle and figuring out how to go out on your own, how to be an entrepreneur, what do you want to do next? Ask yourself that question, can this make money when I'm sleeping? And again, there's nothing wrong, like, in having a side hustle that supplements your, your regular income. That's totally awesome. But don't walk away from your bread and butter thinking you've built this big, huge new business, because it needs to run itself when you're not there. And so those are different skill sets, right? Starting a business, running a business, keeping it going. And that's why we invest in these assets that basically create, passive income, because Public supermarkets or Lowe's Home Improvement or TJ Maxx, I don't go and open the door and turn on the lights and start the register, but they still pay me, right, every month or whatever it is for the rent. And by the way, there's a lot of other businesses that can achieve that without being a real estate business. So, does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think that's great. It's great info and great tips, because I think people are locked in and trapped in this cycle where they think that I got to work harder to make it or to get what I want. Sometimes you got to work smarter.
Yeah, like let's say you make a good salary and you make a lot of money because you're working all these hours. If you just spend all that money,
Sneakers.
what have you on sneakers? Like, now look, you should definitely have gratification and enjoy what you're doing, but I would argue you may want to defer some of that gratification. Like if you took $100,000, instead of buying the fancy car right away, you could go buy as a down payment maybe a fourplex or a twoplex, right? And then the rental income from that asset could then buy you the car. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and let's go a step further, because getting a rental access might be a little out of reach. A hot dog stand. Now you have multiple hot dog stands. People work in the hot dog stands, and you're making money while you're doing your main job with all these hot dog stands.
Right. Having one hot dog stand, you still have to be there, right? But having 10 hot dog stands means that you're making money on 10 of them. And it may only be $100 a day on each one, right? But in the aggregate, it adds up.
Yeah.
So that's the message that I'm trying to get across. So the only other thing that I wanted to mention that we can wrap up was I saw an ad. Well, not an ad. I actually saw signage, I should say, at a new chicken restaurant. For the years, there's been these like chicken wars, right? Like Popeyes versus Chick-fil-A versus Shake Shack's got chicken, McDonald's. Maybe I'm missing one. I apologize. Send me a note if I forgot some big chicken. I don't want to offend any of my chicken friends in the chicken business. It's like, who has the best chicken sandwich, right? And you'd see all these ads on TV. It was funny. So I saw this place in Fairlawn called Brine, and I looked it up, and it looks pretty good. Sent you a picture of a chicken sandwich that I'd like to have for lunch, frankly. And I'm excited to discover a new brand. I think when people find new things, they should share it. Shop local, give this company a chance to be successful. So for those that think retail is dying and shopping centers are dying, I mean, there are innovations happening. There are new companies that are still out there looking for space, looking to try new things. We just did a deal with a company called Play It Again Sports, which is like I think I told you, like used lacrosse equipment, hockey, sports. Let's say you're a parent and you don't want to spend $500 on your kid trying ice hockey the first time. Go to Play It Again Sports. It's all used stuff that people sell back. So brings people in on both sides, the buying and the selling. We're getting them open in High Point, North Carolina. So I know they're growing. There's a number of retailers that are still expanding and growing. Some of the names are changing, right? They're definitely changing a little bit. But like anything with innovation over time, things get better, they get tweaked, and they change. So that's it, Dougie. That's all I got for you. I really appreciate your time this morning. Everybody spending the morning with us. I know we're all busy getting ready for the holidays. And just remember to always be grateful and thankful in everything you do. And the more you give, the more you get. So we'll see you in a couple weeks, Doug. All right?
Yes, sir.
Play me out of here, brother.
You got it.